Hey preschoolers, I have one more dog story for you this week, and it is about a dog called Balto. And I wish he could reach through the camera and give you all hugs because he is so soft. He's such a nice dog. Anyway, this book that we're going to read for you today is called The Bravest Dog Ever, The True Story of Balto. And I thought this was a great book because this happens when some kids are really sick, and Balto helps get them the medicine that they need. So, we're going to see what happens in our story. This is a true story about a very brave dog. His name was Balto. The year was 1925, so this happened almost 100 years ago. Balto lived in Nome, Alaska. Nome was a frontier town. Most of the year, it was buried under ice and snow. In the winter, there was no way to travel through all the ice and snow. No planes or trains or boats or cars could get through. The only way to travel in Alaska was by dog sled. Do you see the sled with all the dogs pulling it? Balto was a sled dog. He worked for a gold mining company not far from Nome. He helped carry food and tools to the miners. It was a good life for a sled dog. Balto's driver was a man named Gunner. Gunner made Balto his lead dog. The lead dog runs in front of the team. He follows the trail. All the other dogs do whatever the lead dog does. So the lead dog has to be the smartest and strongest dog of all. Oh no. One cold winter day, a terrible thing happened in Nome. 2 children got very sick. Their parents called the doctor. He was the only doctor in the whole town. When the doctor saw the children, he was very worried. The children had a terrible sickness called diphtheria. The doctor did not have the medicine he needed. Without the medicine, the children would die. Without the medicine, many other people in Nome would get sick and die too. The doctor knew he had to get some medicine fast. Do you know what? The hospital in Anchorage, Alaska had the medicine, but Anchorage was 800 miles away. That's really far. The doctors in Anchorage put the medicine on the train. But soon the train got stuck in the deep snow. The train was still 700 miles away from Nome. How would they get the medicine there? The people of Nome held a meeting. Everyone was very scared. What are we going to do? Asked the doctor. We have to get that medicine. At last someone said, what about a dog sled relay? When one team of dogs gets tired, a new team will be ready to take over. The room buzzed with excitement. That did seem like the quickest way to get the medicine. But the doctor frowned. It will still take about 15 days. That's a long time. It's too long. Maybe the doctor was right, but there was no other choice. So the mayor spoke over the radio. Please help, he said. We need the best drivers and dogs to help save our town. Gunner heard the mayor on the radio. He knew he had the best sled dog the best dog team and the best lead dog. Balto would come to the rescue. Yay! Oh, on January 27th, 1925, the race to Nome began. 21 dog teams were in the relay. Each team waited at a different spot. Do you see all the spots here? Every time there's a little dot, that's where a team was waiting. All across from Anchorage down here up to Nome. They had to go all across the state of Alaska. The first driver took the medicine from the train. He wrapped it in fur to keep it from freezing. Then he drove his dogs as fast as he could to the second stop. He made his run in good time. But soon the wind began to blow hard. The air grew colder. A blizzard was coming. It was one of the worst storms ever. Still the race went on. Somehow each dog team made it to the next stop. Oh no, in one team, 2 dogs froze to death. So the driver hitched himself to the sled. He helped the rest of his dogs pull through the storm. He was their lead dog. Gunner and Balto waited at their stop in Bluff. They were going to run 31 miles from Bluff to Point Safety. That was the second to last part of the race. The medicine was getting closer. But the storm had slowed things down. Gunner had been waiting for 2 days. He did not sleep. He wanted to be ready to go as soon as the medicine arrived. Let's see. At last, Gunner heard the dogs barking. The medicine was here. He put it on the sled with a small stove and a little food. Then he hitched up his dogs. Balto stood proudly in the lead. Gunner cracked his whip. Mush, he said. That meant go. The team ran out into the snowy night. At first, the team made good time, but soon snowdrifts blocked the trail. The dogs sank all the way up to their necks, just like this. In the snow, they could not move. Some began to panic, but not Balto. He stayed calm. That helped the other dogs, while Gunner helped dig them out of the snow. At last, the team was on its way again. Then the team crossed a frozen river. The dogs and the sled slipped and skidded on the ice. Oh no, over went the sled. Gunner got it up again, but the medicine was gone. Wildly, Gunner dug for the medicine. He could not see through the heavy snow, but at last he felt the package. Whew, he put it back on the sled. The team kept going across the river. Suddenly, Balto stopped short. Mush, Balto, shouted Gunner, but Balto did not move. Then Gunner saw why. The ice was cracking. If the team had fallen into the river, they would all have drowned. Balto had stopped just in time. Smart dog, Gunner told him. Then he saw that Balto's feet were wet. If they froze, Balto would never walk again. Quickly, Gunner unhitched Balto from the sled. He led the dog to a patch of powdery snow. Gunner rubbed Balto's paws in the powder. Soon they were dry. Balto was ready to go once more. Oh. Balto led the team around the cracking ice. At last they reached solid land again. Were they still on the trail? Gunner had no idea. The snow blew so hard, Gunner could not see his own hands. But Balto had run this trail many times before. Now it was up to him. Finally, the storm died down. Gunner saw Point Safety ahead. Balto did it, thought Gunner. He couldn't wait to warm his hands by a cozy fire. But all the lights were out at Point Safety. Was the next driver there? Gunner didn't know. And there was no time to find out. So Gunner and Balto did not stop. They had never been so tired, but they raced on through the night toward Nome. It was just before dawn. The sky began to glow. In the town of Nome, everyone was sleeping. Gunner and his team pulled into town. They had made it. Balto was too tired to bark. They had been on the trail for 20 hours straight. They had driven 53 miles. Gunner took the medicine to the doctor. The doctor was surprised. He thought it would take 15 days to get the medicine, but Gunner delivered it after only 5.5 days. Thank you, Gunner, said the doctor. You are a hero. Balto is the hero, said Gunner. I could not have done it without him. The doctor went right to work. He gave the medicine to the sick people. In a few days, they would be well. The town of Nome was saved. All over America, people cheered for Balto. They read about his bravery in the newspaper. Balto was the most famous dog in the world. A year later, the people of New York City put up a statue of Balto. It still stands in Central Park. Lots of children play on the statue. They remember Balto, the bravest dog ever. He was so brave. He went through the cold and the snow. Yeah, you did. Just to get the medicine to the children. Do you know what? Some kids are sick right now because of this virus. And it would be so nice if they had a dog that could give them medicine. But we don't have all the medicine we need for it right now. So we can pray for those kids that God helps them to get better and to be able to get some kind of medicine that will help them. So next week, I'll be back with some more stories. But for right now, me and Balto are going to say goodbye. Have a good weekend.